When most of us think about war, we picture tanks, bombs, and guns. But some of the most devastating wars in history didn't happen on battlefields or maps. They happened in printing presses, central banks, and interest rate decisions. These are wars no one ever told you about in school. Wars where no armies march, yet entire countries are brought to their knees. These are called currency wars. Once you start to notice them, you realize something important. The rise and fall of empires has often been shaped more by monetary policy than by generals. And no, this isn't just about economics. Currency wars decide who eats and who goes hungry, who gets to speak and who is forced to stay silent. The most frightening part is this: these wars are still being fought, quietly, invisibly, but with consequences that reach all the way into your pocket. The logic is actually very simple. Use money as a weapon. Sometimes you deliberately devalue your currency to boost exports. Sometimes you flood markets with cheap credit to knock your rival off balance. Sometimes you hoard gold and reserves to leave others gasping for air. From the outside, these moves look smart. But in reality, this is economic chemical warfare. You poison your enemy and yourself. One of the first major modern examples was the Great Depression. When the stock market crashed in 1929, everyone was just trying to survive. No one could sell goods. No one could make money. As a solution, countries began cheapening their currencies. Britain abandoned the gold standard. The United States weakened the dollar. Then France, Italy, Japan. Everyone played the same game. But the result was disastrous. Imports became more expensive, life got harder, tensions rose. And that environment helped pave the road to the Second World War. But this story isn't new. Even the Roman Empire did the same thing. Back then, their money was silver, the denarius. Rome's power rested on trust in that coin. As wars became more expensive, emperors chose the easy path. They reduced the silver content and replaced it with cheaper metals. At first, no one noticed. But over time, the coin barely contained any silver at all. The result? Inflation, loss of trust, and collapse. Rome wasn't destroyed only by barbarians. Rome destroyed itself by debasing its own money. After the Second World War, the world wanted to avoid repeating this mistake. The Bretton Woods system was created. The dollar was tied to gold, and other currencies were tied to the dollar. But this produced a different kind of power balance. The United States, which controlled the dollar, began to dominate the world through money. Without firing a single bullet, it could apply pressure through bank accounts. Quiet, but extremely effective. Over time, this system also began to crack. In the 1960s, the United States printed enormous amounts of money to finance both the Vietnam War and massive social programs. Other countries started asking, is there really gold behind all these dollars? They began demanding gold, and in 1971, Nixon pulled the plug overnight. The dollar was cut loose from gold. The world entered a new era, floating exchange rates and new currency wars. In the 1980s, Japan was rising fast. It was producing, exporting, growing. The United States was unhappy. In 1985, the Plaza Accord was signed. The dollar was deliberately weakened, and the yen was strengthened. It sounds technical, but the outcome was very clear. Japanese exports became expensive. An asset bubble inflated and then burst. Japan struggled for decades. Not a single bullet was fired. These wars don't look like wars while they're happening. In the news, they appear as interest rate decisions or currency adjustments, but their impact is very real. Factories close, people lose their jobs, savings evaporate. During the 1997 Asian financial crisis, millions were thrown into poverty overnight. Because when a currency falls in one place, the shockwaves spread everywhere. And yes, this is still happening. Today, some call it Currency War 4.0. Interest rates dropped to zero. Trillions were printed. Sanctions were used like weapons. There is a quiet but intense power struggle between the United States and China. Smaller countries are trapped in between. No matter what they do, they pay a price. The pandemic accelerated this process. Everyone printed money. At first, everything seemed fine. Then inflation arrived. In 2022, it exploded. A stronger dollar pushed other countries into crisis. Steps taken to save one nation ended up sinking others. History tells us this: currency wars usually end badly. Something breaks. Either the system changes or politics does. World reserve currencies have always changed hands, and every transition has been painful. The real danger is this: people don't realize they're in the middle of a war. You hear a bomb when it falls, but when money loses value, you only notice it at the grocery store. That's why financial awareness is critical. If you understand how money works, you can protect yourself. You don't tie everything to a single system. You don't fall for the illusion that the number in your bank account equals security. Because money is not innocent. It is a tool of power. And in this game, the winners are not always the hardest workers. They are the strongest. History doesn't repeat exactly, but the patterns stay the same. Names change, methods change, the game stays the same. The next time you hear about an interest rate decision or a currency move, don't see it as just economics. It's a move. And remember, if money is a weapon, survival depends on knowing where to stand. If this gave you a new perspective, subscribe. History holds the answers.